One of my favorite things to do a few years ago were either 24 or 48-hour readathons. I did these monthly, and essentially it was a time for me to challenge myself as a reader and read as many books as I possibly could. That resulted, however, in me perhaps not giving books the fairest of chances and reading books fast just for the sake of reading them. And so today I come to you wanting to give two specific books a second chance: Good Girl's Guide to Murder and The Inheritance Games. It's time to give books a second chance. Hello friends, this lighting is a work of art, and I can't tell if me wearing my glasses is a crime or if it's a vibe, but that glare in the eyes, it's surely something. I have been reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I'm happy to report I finished part 1. I didn't remember this being divided in parts, but about to walk into part 2, chapter 12. I'm actually quite enjoying this. I think that definitely when I read this book for the first time, I read it in a rush to the point where everything just kind of blurred together and it was a little bit messy, and I didn't really remember the ins and outs of the details of this book. No shame in admitting so, a little bit of shame. I'm a little bit ashamed. You heard it here first, friends. In this one, we follow Pippa, who, as her school's capstone project, decides to reopen her own investigation on the murder of Andy Bell that happened a few years back. This is a girl that went to the same school she did. However, after the investigation was done by the police, they landed on Andy Bell's boyfriend as the culprit of said crime, Salil Singh, and Miss Pippa does not believe that he is the culprit. And what's so cool about the book, which I know is an aspect that a lot of people enjoyed, and I am with them, I am one of them, I agree, is the mixed media format. You get these sort of interventions every once in a while, and you get these transcripts of Pippa's interviews with people that were close to Andy, be it her friends, be it Salil's family members, be it people in her life that were relevant to this case, even police officers, FBI officers, like everybody that could have potentially been involved in said investigation and event, she is interviewing for said project. And although there is this pretext of you have to do it in a respectful way, and she is doing it in a very respectful way, but she is not meant to reopen a case or to fully investigate. It is just to illustrate the impact of the media on said case. She is investigating and she wants to kind of draw her own conclusions and find the truth of what happened. And so these interventions are used to illustrate her journey, not only in the capstone project, but also her leads. Who does she think the prime suspects are? We also see maps and other material that is just super, super cool, because we not only get to see, well, Pippa in her daily life, but we get to see the actual investigation material, which is so, so cool. I've heard the audiobook for this is amazing because of it, because it has that mixed media. It is super, super intriguing, and although it is YA, it doesn't necessarily fully read like teenagers to me. I think there's this right sense of importance and respect being placed on the investigation and the entire process, which is, you know, it can be very finicky because there are real people involved. There are actual deaths involved in the process of this whole circumstance. I love that we get to see Ravi, who is Salil's brother, and that he is also very much trying to seek the truth, which is something he tried to do in the past but never landed in a proper answer. And now that Pippa is carrying her own investigation, Ravi is like really trying to help out and do the things. A little bit suspicious as far as like the close proximity goes, but it is really nice to kind of see the involvement of that, and I guess Pippa not investigating this whole thing by herself. It is officially the morning after. I just came back from the gym. I'm all kinds of sweaty. This angle is gorgeous, but I just came back home from the gym and I'm going to grab my little tote bag and go get my nails done. I'm literally still sweating and agitated, but look at this nail. I don't know if you'll be able, you see that? It's literally hanging on for dear life. So before I even give you an update on A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, did get halfway through yesterday. We're gonna go get our nails done and I'm gonna take you with me. And after that, I'll update you. I'll probably still be reading at the nail salon. So I'll give you an update on the book as soon as I'm back home. But let us prep a little yogurt and let's go. So I've got an update. It is the morning time. We have got a coffee. We are also actually sprinting. Let me mute that fireplace ASMR before it gets too loud. I am obviously still reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. We are currently 232 pages in. So I'm like a solid 100 and... Ooh, do I know math? Of course I know math. 154 pages away from finishing. I am really enjoying the fact that this has got reveals every so often. It's not that you have to wait a myriad of chapters before something interesting happens. It's not like you have to wait till the very end of the book for all of the reveals to kind of, you know, happen or take place or come together for it to make sense. I think the book slowly but surely is kind of painting this really clear picture of who Andy Bell really was, as opposed to who people thought Andy Bell was, or who people have been hiding Andy Bell was, because it's easier to pinpoint the blame and shift culpability to Salil, again, the boyfriend, who not only was the boyfriend, but he was also a brown Indian man. And so there are so many implications to this, even as far as race goes, and how, again, easier it is media-wise to pin a person of color as the aggressive murderer. Again, so many layers to that. But we are getting to see an Andy Bell that we really didn't get to see towards the beginning of the book. I mean, we never really get to see her per se, because like she's no longer in the land of the living. But I think as far as perception goes, we're starting to, again, see something entirely different to what was sold to us at the beginning, which is very, very intriguing. So many characters that have been covering shit up, that have been lying, that have not been entirely forthcoming or truthful with how things actually happened, either on the night that Andy Bell died or even the nights and months leading up to that event. And I have my prime suspect. I do think I'm in between two people. I think it might have been either Naomi or Becca. I don't know how right I am, but I think it's really suspicious that we've barely seen anything Becca related, even though Becca is the sister. And yes, while because of morality and everything, Pip is not necessarily interviewing the family members because it can come across as quite insensitive or quite invasive to do so, I still do think that Becca has got some things that have not quite added up, including the fact that there seemed to be a really huge rivalry with these two sisters prompted by their father. And I just don't know, it's giving me Pretty Little Liars vibes. If you know, you know, and there's just something about it that I do not trust. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Loads of reveals, loads of things, like the inner web of investigations is kind of coming together, and I can't wait to see the reveal and see what happens. So I am about to sit down and, you know, kind of hope to finish this all in one go. Also, my nails, look at what I got done. The little strawberries. I feel like strawberry shortcake right now. I just feel very happy with my nails. They bring me a lot of joy. And yeah, I'm just gonna drink my coffee because I didn't have coffee before now. It's 11:47 a.m. Let's just go, let's read, keep you guys updated, and hopefully we can finish this right now. Right now, okay, let's go. This book is very much giving me I Know What You Did Last Summer vibes, and I don't like it. book 3 years ago is really giving the energy of right book, wrong time. And that is why I always like to say, sometimes it's just not the right book, sometimes it's not the right time, sometimes there's a little bit of both things playing into it, but I'm convinced that the first time around I read this book, I was just not in the best headspace. I was sleep deprived. I really was just reading this book in order to finish it and count it towards a readathon goal, but not necessarily because I was really enjoying it or I was really into it. Like, I very easily could have just DNF'd this book and left it for another time, and yet I didn't, because I wanted to comply with my TBR that I had set out for myself for that specific readathon. And had I DNF'd this book and perhaps picked it up at another time, it would have been a totally different story. Exhibit A, me sitting here right now and telling you that I really enjoyed this book, and I ended up giving it a 4.5 star. This book was so good, and I will have to say, I had my reservations and I had my doubts about halfway through the book. I was like, will I really enjoy this? Is it going to get any better? I was just a little bit stagnant towards the middle because it was a lot of the same. And although I was liking the format, and I think what really works well for this book is the fact that we get to actively see the investigation as we go along. And I think that's why it's so easy to follow along as a thriller, as a mystery, because we are well informed of the happenings of this world, of the people, of the mystery itself, and we are not really left in the dark about a whole lot of stuff except the actual twist and the actual ending, which was done so well. Like, the reveals that kept coming in throughout this book were just so phenomenal. We got 3 really big reveals, or at least they were big to me, and I loved every single one of them. And so although I had my reservations, towards the end it just kept getting more and more explosive and just more and more good as we kept going along. The last 100 pages were super explosive. They were truly fantastic, and they had me just at the edge of my seat, and some things happened that I was not expecting. And I think the greatest thing about this all is that I did not remember anything about the twist and the ending, which is really just a testament to how quick I tried and succeeded in reading this book the first time around. Sometimes reading books again and retrying them is the way to go, friends. And now we pick up the Inheritance Games and we retry this one in the hopes that it will also be better than the first time I read it. Essential things for when you're chronic illnessing: a warm compress on your face and a cat on your lap. Very important. And this is just how it looks when a girl is suffering from bruxism and a temporomandibular disorder. I love being chronically ill. Look at her, why is she so cute? I am put to bed. I was made to be a pro. Look at this. This is a horrifying sight. You're horrifying. Oh my god. Sil. Oh no, baby girl, this is not your angle. So, brief intermission before I even update you on the Inheritance Games, which I have been reading. It's like, literally, please hold, I am here, I'm still here. I can't reach. I do have the book right here, and I have been reading the Inheritance Games. Wearing my comfort sweatshirt. At this point, this has become like my favorite thing that I own, and I typically wear it on not so good days. Today is a not so good day. For the past 2 days, I've just been feeling immensely chronically ill, and it's not been fun, as you guys know, or if you don't know, because some of you may not know. I literally have a temporomandibular disorder, so affects my jaw. I have a bruxism as well, and alongside those 2 wonderful things that are immensely affected and impacted by stress and anxiety, I also have muscular and nerve damage because of it. It's a great time. It's actually not. And so for the past 2 days, it's just been a time. And so I just had to take a few days back and just rest. And then yesterday was a not good mental health day. So, you know, it kind of goes hand in hand. Chronically ill, mentally ill. It's just like a fun little party, and I don't like it. Anyways, this is just where we're at. We have our chai latte at hand because I cannot have proper coffee because it has too much caffeine. I just ordered my groceries, so I'm gonna put these away, and I thought we'd just have a nice little discussion about why is everything so expensive. I feel like every time I go grocery shopping, everything I typically buy is like raised by $1 every week, and I can't even buy anything without it being so expensive. I don't know if it's just a Panama thing or if it's an everywhere thing, but every week it's like a surprise. I'm like, so which one of y'all Pokemons is gonna be more expensive this week? Is it gonna be the oat milk? Is it gonna be the onions? Which one of you will be the problem this week? I am here accompanied by my lovely groceries that I need to put in the rightful spots. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. to an update on the inheritance games. Look at me in this little triangle, so beautiful. Me and my breakout, just two of us. However, I reached essentially page 100. Listen, I don't make the math rules. If math says that 9 can round up a 9 and 99 becomes 100, I'm on page 100. But technically speaking, I'm on chapter 24, about to start it, and it is page 99. But I don't make the rule. I'm on page 100. And I'm enjoying this so much. It once more just lets you know how the Lulu you can be if you are not in the right state of mind when you are reading a book, and how much that can actually affect your reading a concept. And I think I'm about to become one of the girly pops that really loves this book, because one of my favorite movies is Knives Out. And when I initially read this book, I mentioned that I love Knives Out. I love the concept of it. I think it's so cool. It really is like grabbing the concept of like scam and spam emails, like, you know, those random ones. You've won $1 million. I'm like, bitch, I wish. But it's like grabbing that concept and making it a reality. Like, we have Avery, who's our main character, and she actually receives mail, a whole ass letter from this person that she doesn't know. And this letter says that she has to be present at the reading of the will of Tobias Hawthorne, which is a $46.2 billion net worth billionaire. And she doesn't even know of this person. She doesn't know this man, doesn't know of him, knows nothing about this estate, this family, this human. And she has to travel to Texas to attend the will reading, where she essentially finds out that she is the sole inheritor of the entire fortune. And it comes as a surprise because every other person in his family gets, basically in the grand scheme of things, just based on how many assets and money there is, they get essentially nothing as far as like an inheritance goes. So Miss Avery goes from essentially being almost homeless and living this very underprivileged, really struggle-heavy life to suddenly becoming an heiress and a billionaire from night to day. And what I've read of the book so far is not only her finding that out, but also meeting all of the Hawthorne grandsons. There is, I know, a love triangle in this book, which is bound to be very fun. One of the characters is giving like baby Harvey Specter vibes if you've watched Suits. That's what I'd like to call Grayson, because he's very much giving me Harvey Specter vibes. It's just like very nice, because he's not a bad person, but he's like very white collar type person. He's very rich and aware of it, and he will use his assets and his confidence and his self-importance and self-assuredness and all the things in order to get what he wants. And so that's Grayson. I know that's going to be one of the boys in the love triangle. And then we have got Jameson, who is giving drunk Damon Salvatore meets drunk Jace Wayland from the Mortal Instrument, meets Matthew Fairchild from the Last Hours trilogy, also by Cassandra Clare. And I love the unhinged behavior currently being displayed by Mr. Jameson. And so I don't know who I'm rooting for quite yet, because I think she's like connecting with them on different levels so far. I do have to say, I kind of enjoy the interactions with Grayson just a little bit more. There's just something about that pretentiousness that I'm like, yes, kind of buying into it, kind of like it. And so that's where I'm at in the book. She's gotten all of her media training, what to say, what not to say, who to talk to, who not to talk to, all of the rundown of how her daily life is now going to look like, and that her life is essentially upended because now she's a billionaire. And it is so insane. Like, the concept of it is so crazy, but it's so good. Got some beautiful, stunning lighting at the moment. Not the best one. I'm also trying to hide public enemy number 1. Asil scent marks the inheritance games, and Asvin takes a nap. However, I have one thing to say, okay? I just got to chapter 45, page 187. We're here, friends. The part where Drake gets to the gates, if you know, you know, and Libby's like stress making cupcakes, and Nash is there throughout all of it, and he says, "Yes, ma'am. Course not, darling." And shutting up now. For what it's worth, I vote for Red Velvet next. Am I the only one really invested in Libby and Nash? I need to know that the answer is no. Let a girl know in the comment section, because why am I kind of rooting for them? And they're barely there to begin with. Jennifer Lynn Barnes just gets it. She just gets it. This book has heart for comfort. I don't think I've ever seen that outside a fantasy book. Have I? I don't know if I have. I love it so much, and I did not think I was going to root for Jameson and Avery, but that hurt for comfort scene. And it's just the switch up from like very cocky and very like self-important to self-destructive to then being like super gentle with Avery. I love it so much. I'm a simple girl. I will say though, if he calls Avery heiress or mystery girl one more time, I may just lose it. Because what? I hate that nickname. If there is one thing I hate about it, it's that. Mystery girl. Heiress. Mystery girl. I can't do it. It's just too much. But for real though, you better stop saying it. I may just go the way Emily did. My heart's going pitter-patter. Oh my god. I finished the Inheritance games, and I need to understand past Mel. What the hell did I read the first time I read this book? I feel like I just read an entirely different book than what I read that very first time around. So many details. I don't even remember computing in my brain, reading, digesting, just nothing. It is such a good book. It's full of twists and turns and plot twists, and just when you think the game's going to be over, it is not. I love that all of our characters are immensely capable as part of this whole literal inheritance games to see exactly why Tobias Hawthorne left the money to Avery. We see all of the Hawthorne brothers play at this game. We see Sander play, Nash play, Grayson, Jameson. We see everybody in this family and everybody connected to this family want a piece of this inheritance, and everybody has got motives of their own and motivations of their own as to why they are acting the way they are or not the way that they are. And Avery too, being I guess like the Kickstarter to this whole thing, and the huge hanging mystery of why exactly it is that she was the person out of billions of people in the world. Why was it Avery Kylie Grams? The ending of this book is insanity. I need that second book in my greedy little hands right about now. In fact, let me check if they have this on Libby available to me now, because I need to know what is going to happen next. That is such a good ending to a book like this. I just love this. It is such a bingeable book. I don't remember the last time I sat down like this and I read essentially the entire book in a single sitting. Prior to sitting down today to read, I had gotten to page 85, and so I basically read this whole book today. And when was the last time Boy Scouts honor Mel did that? Never! It's been such a long time. Oh my god, they have it available! You can literally see Discord sprints in the background. I'm borrowing this. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna read this right now, but for 21 days, I've got 21 days to open the damn book and read it. Yes, this is a 5-star for me. I did not think I was going to enjoy this more than A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but I did. And I have to pledge my allegiance to the flag. I have to announce where my honor lies. And it is with Grayson. Like, I'm sorry for all the Jameson girlies out there. Listen, I know why y'all like Jameson. I see the appeal sometimes, but there's just something about Grayson. The line of like, I will always protect you, especially knowing that this man has explicitly said before, I will always put my family first. It hits. The angst hits so hard. And I don't know who she ends up with. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I need it to be Grayson so desperately because it's so good. And that's it for today, friends. That is all that I have got for you in this retry vlog. It's so funny because I said 2 years ago? No, a year ago. Time is a concept. But whenever I did the first installment, I was like, yes, oh my god, it's gonna be a series. And then I never did it because the concept of rereading books to me is so difficult. Like I struggle so much through rereads. So I'm very, very surprised I managed to get through both of these books in such a quick span of time. Like it really was, I think within the week that I managed to read both of these books and finish them and rate them as highly as I did. And I think it really is just proof that sometimes there are right books, wrong time, wrong book, right time, and it really can be up to the reader and their mood and the way that they're feeling towards books and reading or towards a certain genre or towards certain tropes. And so very, very happy that I decided to do this because I found 2 new favorite books. Don't know quite yet if I am going to be reading the sequel to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, because technically each book stands on its own. It's kind of like Truly Devious, where each thing is a companion. The Inheritance games, I already borrowed the second one, and you know what? Very in the mood to read it, so I may just read it sometime soon because I want to know what happens. I want to see, will they take the inheritance away from Avery? Like, what's going to happen? It is so much bigger and crazier than I could have ever anticipated, and anyways, that's it for today. Love you all the most. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, you can stick around. We do this every once in a while and we read books. If you want more content from yours truly, we do have a Patreon as well with the book club, Discord, extra live shows. I mean, all of the live shows really just happen over on Patreon. So all of that is linked down below alongside all of my socials. If you reach the very end, let us leave a money emoji. Money everywhere because Avery won it all. And there's that. I love you all the absolute mostest. And I will see you on the next one. Goodbye!